And what is left of Tropical Storm Ida is prompting the Office of Emergency Management here to issue travel advisories, which will remain in place for the next 24 hours.
OEM Commissioner John Scrivani is here with us this morning with more on how the city is now bracing for the storm. Commissioner, thank you so much for being with us because I know your time is precious, so we absolutely appreciate it.
Good morning, Jess and Dan. Thank you.
As we've been hearing from meteorologist Brian Miranda's report, we're expecting a lot of rain, much of which has already started. Are there any specific areas or neighborhoods that you guys are keeping a really close eye on right now?
So we have areas in each borough that we identify that are flood prone, that are coastal, that we make sure that we keep a very close eye on. The thing about New Yorkers is they're resilient. They understand their own neighborhoods better than we do sometimes. So we have our plan. We'll start to execute it. If there are any issues that come up, we're sure that New Yorkers will reach out to 311 and we can get out there. But the flood-prone locations are identified and we will get out there. We've been out there for the last few days making sure that we're addressing the issues.
Yeah, the ground, as we often hear, is so saturated, and that means those tree roots, they are at risk of just upcoming out and those trees coming down. Do you have crews in specific areas on standby to handle that?
Yeah, so we activate our down tree task force. So we put them on alert last night. So we work closely with the Parks Department and their contractors. And then if there are incidents that come up in real time that come into 911 or block streets, the NYPD and the FDNY will get out there to make sure that the streets are clear for emergency vehicles. And then we'll work closely with the Parks Department, who has crews in every borough ready to go, so we can get all of those trees cleaned up right away.
Right. Commissioner, the rain is expected to obviously cause some issues for the evening commute, whether it's flooded roads or flooded subways. A lot of that we saw with Henri. How is all of that going to be addressed?
Well, the first thing is we want to make sure New Yorkers know before they go. We want to make sure that they're aware. Obviously, Byron's been doing a really good job on your team, keeping us informed of the weather forecast. So it shouldn't be a surprise that we're going to have bad weather. So we want to make sure people know before they go and really plan their trip and plan their route around the storm.
Okay, so with that said, right, and I'm not saying this is your fault, but can we manage some expectations here for some folks? Are we going to see those videos of flooded subway stations, right, because there's going to be so much water? And how will that be addressed, not only in the subways but on the streets too, like in terms of crews who are handling that?
Yeah, so, to manage expectations, what you have to understand is the city's infrastructure can only handle so much rain at a time. Right. So, which is why we go out and try and address the catch basins and the storm drains before the storm. What happens is once it starts raining very hard, all of the leaves or any kind of debris from other areas will wash in and block those drains. So that's when you see the flooding start, and we have to get out there and clean it very quickly. Will you potentially see some flooding on some of the flood-prone locations and in the subways? I can't say you won't, right? I have to say that you might. And what the main goal here is to make sure people act safely. Even the videos you just showed in Louisiana, where you have people driving through really flooded areas or trying to wade through those waters, terribly dangerous, right? We want to make sure that people try and avoid that. Even, after Tropical Storm Elsa, right before, you saw the flooded subway stations and you saw people trying to wade through that water. That's very dangerous. And I know people have to get home to children or to other family members, but we want you to get there safely. So if you see a subway station that's flooded, please just try and go to the next one or wait it out. MTA, will be out there. They'll do a really good job to try and get that cleared up right away.
I appreciate your honesty and managing those expectations because people are going to be on social media about it. I just want to give a shout out to Task Force 1. I deployed with them a couple years ago to a hurricane in the Carolinas. An incredible team, 83 people to Baton Rouge on Sunday. So what is the status? How long are they expected to be down there?
I mean, the maximum they would be down there would be 10 to 14 days. So we don't know exactly when they're coming back yet. They've only been there a few days. They're working hard. I see you have the pictures up. That picture on the bottom left that you're showing on the screen, the team did have a chance to help a resident that was trapped in their home on oxygen, running low, no connectivity to get other resources. So the team did get in there and evacuate that person to safety. I was part of that team. Very personal to me. I said this over the weekend when we deployed them. It's really hard work, and the team is happy to be there. They're conducting wide area searches right now. They've done over, 300 or 400 locations that they've checked, and it's going to be a long trek for the folks down in Louisiana. They got a lot of recovery that's going to happen, but we're just glad our team is there to help.
Hats off to them, and thank you for being here this morning, taking time out to inform New Yorkers. Commissioner Scrivani, appreciate it.
Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
You too.
You too. Be safe. And it really shows how delicate the efforts are, because you're
yeah.
trying to make sure you're fully staffed at home while also helping folks hundreds of miles away.
Yeah.